World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She was magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings and welcome to Access Wealth Nation with Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, giving you that checkup from the neck up, helping us to understand financial literacy. Because if we know better, we'll do better. This is truly Financial Literacy Month. With financial activity is necessary. I know you all have seen the market today. And we are not to get worried about markets as much as we need to get our plans in order. If you plan, then therefore you're not planning to fail. But if you have no plan, there's a good chance that you might fail. So to prevent that, we're on a mission here at Access Wealth Nation to bring financial literacy into our community and to make a difference in how we move for our legacy. Legacy is as important just as well as today, as tomorrow, and to yesteryear. So we have to really think about what we're doing. What's our goals? What's our dreams? What's our desires? What is it that we can do to make a difference in our lives? And not only our lives, but our children's lives and our children's children's lives. You know, this is something where we're here. We have to make things happen. You know, we panic, and I tell folks who are the faithful, who say they're faithful, constantly pledging and promoting the fact of their faith, and yet they're fearful when something starts to go a little bit awry. It's almost like, what is it? Noah and the ark. You know, when the water started to come, everybody started to panic. That is not the time to start panicking. Time is to be prepared. And so since this is Financial Literacy Month, I think that it's time that we do some planning. So I got to also tell you some things. We have our broadcast from WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. And we're also broadcast on Soul City Network. And in Soul City, you can go to soulcity.me and see what's going on, but also listening to some of the things that we need to do to promote our community. If you want someone to know about you, you need to promote yourself sometimes. Also, the fact is that you'll know we do a free financial for Anaj Enterprises, a free financial no obligation discover call. And what that means is to know where you are and where you'd like to be and how you may be able to get that. All you have to do is call 646-375-2121 and let us know that you heard us on WHCR or on Soul City Network. And we'll be glad to have one of our associates sit down with you and help you put together your plan. And of course, if there's any questions that you have during the show, you're welcome to put in the chat. But also, if you want to talk to us, it's at, you can always go to Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com. But not only that, we have some gems for you. So the gems are the How Money Works book, which you know I've had this out for years, and I'm glad that y'all have called and gotten the book and read the book and asked questions about the book. And so therefore, you can get that book at Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com. We came out with an ebook. Yes, I know it's not an ebook now. It still is an ebook, but they printed one version, and that's Change Your Literacy, Change Your Life. We've got to know better so that we can do better. And then for our sisters, oops, I got the wrong book. Okay, won't put that one up. Got two of the same book, but it's How Money Works for Women. Take control or lose it. And that book, all you have to do if you like to get the book, so long as you read it, and I always say if you read it, share the information, share it with others, go back and read it. If you want to give a friend a book, then just reach out to us. It's free 99. We give it. The only thing that we ask you to do is to make sure you read it and to let us know what has impacted you. What was the information that stirred you up and started you to do? I love Lloyd Strayhorn. Many of y'all know the astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn, who's a dear friend of our show. And he said the first time he read the book, it changed his life. And I'm so proud to say that this is what we need to do to make a difference, is to start acting. Anyway, you can get that book. Now, we did roll out, it was last week, I think it was. Yeah, last week. It's another book for people who are age 18 to 30. Yeah, that's a real chosen group of folks. And so that's also an ebook. And those of you who would like that book, it's electronic book, so we can send it to you. All you have to do is contact us at 646-375-2121 or send an email to Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com and say you'd like the book. Give the name of the title of the book. Now, the physical books, the How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, and the How Money Works for Women, Take Control or Lose It. Those books are physical books. So we have to have those books. We need a mailing address for it. Also, if you want to get more information about How Money Works and our educational programs, which we'll be talking about today, is that you can go on Anaj Enterprises .com or go to Jana B, that's JANAB, at wealthwave.com. We have an entire series of educational programs, and you can look at that. Okay, so today again is Financial Literacy Month. We need to get to busy trying to learn something. So we've made it quite easy for you. And I have a wonderful guest, that I met some years ago. Really, it was like 2012. We had a women's event, and some of the individuals from the area, they were at a private institution teaching, and they came over to the event. We put 100 women in the room, and we talked about how powerful it is for us to learn about money. And it's so important that we do. So we do have a little bit of partial focusing in on women, but it's not the be all and end all. Everybody needs to know how money works. So with no further ado, I'd like to bring on my guest, I think Dr. Cynthia Swangen.
I will accept. Thank you.
Yes, because you are a financial educator, girl.
Yes,
And,
thank you
and
very
I
much.
watched you grow. So welcome to Access Wealth Nation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, definitely. So Cynthia, I know you're a professor. I know. So tell us a little bit about you and your background before you came into the world of finance.
Oh, well, thank you. So I have over 20 years in one institution of higher learning, right? I'm in a university. It's a private university, and I teach undergraduate school in human services. So I know most people say, well, what is human services? If you've heard of social welfare, SNAP benefits, TANF, public assistance, if you will, people who are poor who need services. It's not always just for the poor, though, because we have social security, which we know you could be rich or poor to get that. So we just let them know what the differences are, our collective need, as a society to take care of everyone else. So that's what I teach. And I'm really big on being compassionate and having empathy for those who cannot, afford the finer things or just regular food and shelter. And then I also teach just last semester with the Graduate School of Social Work. Very similar because I'm that bleeding heart and I love to help others. And that's pretty much, what I've been doing for the last 20 years in terms of post-secondary, education and teaching others. I have my personal experience as a therapeutic staff support doing mobile therapy, working with children and mental health. That is my background. But now I get to teach others to be out there. I know I may look 25, but I'm not. I did my years in the field, getting up early, tussling with children to get to school and doing different things. But now I just love teaching. And I think because I did it so well or counsel so well as a teacher, almost showing people, that give a person a fish to teach them how instead of just feeding them. That's been my motto, and it just transitioned easily now into financial literacy. So a teacher at heart, doing it over 20 some years, and I had an excellent mentor. I'm speaking to her right now. Really, told me to embrace finances.
Well, it's definitely important. We know that 66% of Americans don't know how compound interest works. They don't know how money works. And that's one of the reasons why now we see so many people panicking. And unfortunately, a lot of the brokers that are out here are not teaching. They're just saying, do as I say. And it doesn't work that way. And so we've got a lot. So I know first and foremost, okay, hello. First and foremost, I know you're involved with our Wealth Wave group. And the thing is that I understand there's something that you'll do on a Wednesday, every Wednesday. And tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you. So we are known as the Powerhouse Group in New York area. And they look like myself, right? Several of independent agents, financial educators. We come together to help each other because we know the importance of being an entrepreneur and leveraging our time. So we're very passionate because that's what Wealth Wave is about, to educate and stamp out financial illiteracy, right? We want to educate 20 million families, including children. That's my specialty. So the team of us, I think it's 6 or so of us, right? We are going to have a series of classes that we're going to run back to back, nonstop on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. It's our How Money Works Elements series. It's 5 classes, right? And if you get to go to all 5 classes, you get certified, because each class is a wealth of information about how finances work and how money works and how to position you correctly. The first class is entitled Foundations, that it gives you an overview of all of the programs. Then it's concepts. We'll go into the main concepts of what is important in terms of being financially literate. Then we go into protection, which everyone needs, short-term and long-term. So right now we have a lead educator, Dan Brown, who's working the first of the series, and then each one of us will take turns. But this will happen on every Wednesday, because we're really serious about people, learning. And like you said, states come out with certain programs, like with my son, when they had to do that internship, and they put it under the auspices of financial literacy. And when I asked my son, what did you learn? It was like maybe a half an hour out of a whole summer program was spent on learning a little bit about compound interest, and not really enough. So we are a company that teaches on the 7 money milestones. And those 5 courses, the element courses, we'll go over them throughout the, spread out those 5 classes. And then we'll have a 6th. So it's like a 6-week series, because then the 6th week will be about different specials. As you said, we have a lot of courses geared to women. And that is also because we know women, in terms of in a couple of years, is going to be the highest earning power, will hold the most wealth.
Yeah. In
So
2030,
right.
the majority, it'll be about 30. I can't even fathom it, but it's $30 trillion will be in the hands of women. So if we don't know what to do with it, what's going to happen?
Right. And so the 6th series will always be something special. That, and I know that you would probably take over that. My love is about the generation, the next generation, the book you just mentioned about, that's targeting the 18 to 30 some year old cohort group. That's my passion, to go into the schools to educate the young about how to save their money, invest, because it's about time. So like I said, we're doing the 7 money milestones. So that 6th week will be some kind of special, where it's either about industry, talking about how to become an entrepreneur. So that series I'm excited about. On Wednesdays, 7 o'clock, we're going to be on rolling it out, because we're really serious about educating.
So what happens if someone comes next Wednesday? Do they get an opportunity to go back through, or how does it work for someone who's just hearing about this now?
Thank you. So again, because we're going to be doing this week after week. So say next week we're on week 3, I think we'll be on protection. Right? We just went over the concepts, right? So if we go into protection and you have it, but you'll continue to go to the next series, then again, you can miss the, you can make up the 2 that you missed, because we're going to be doing them every week. And right. And so you'll get a certificate for completing all 5. But even if you just go to 1, right? Because we're serious about teaching individuals who are hungry. So with 1, you get a free financial needs analysis, which you could sit down with a professional if you're interested to crunch your personal numbers. And then you can get educated, because we do also one-on-one. If you're interested and you want to know, we wouldn't have to necessarily make you wait to get the concept. You can sit down with your financial educator, and then they will also give you classes one-on-one.
So how much does this cost to do this?
I don't like to say it, because people don't believe. They say free. Nothing in life is free. Ignorance is free, and people pick that up much. So guess what? We are very serious, and it's free. It's free. People do not believe it, but it is. We want to spend the time with you to make sure that you're educated and you know the foundations of how money works.
Well, I will say, because I have the flyer in front of me, so I'm going to recite the bit.ly. It's bit.ly/WEDT as in Tom MMC. So that's the bit.ly. bit.ly/WEDTMMC. So that's interesting because you can sign up for it and then keep going and going and going, or you can come in and you can get a financial needs analysis, and then you can see where you're at. That I think is awesome. So I know you and I have been working together for a little while, and so we just rolled out something that I thought was important and I think is very important. We have something called the Financial Literacy Index.com. I think, yeah, .com. And that is a literacy quiz. So can you take us through a little bit of why is this important? Why is it important for us to take a financial literacy quiz? You know, we get scared when you say quiz.
Well, it is one to let you know where you are. You
Mm.
cannot go anyway. Just like we say with the mobile app, if with driving directions, there's only 2 points: where you are and where you want to go. You can't know where you want to go unless you really know where your starting point is. And like all assessments, when I tell my students they hate quizzes, we can do the soft formative assessment. And I tell them it's really to help us help you, which is also true, because then what we're doing, right, is collecting a database from everyone who is, and which is great, so that we can see where the world really is in terms of financial literacy and what areas they are stuck and may need help. And that's what we do with a regular assessment, not to penalize someone because maybe you scored low, right? It's to let us know as the educators where we need to focus our time in terms of educating, to see where the need is so that we can solve the issue. So that's important. So it's a snapshot across the United States, across the world, where we are in terms of our literacy, in terms of education. So then that would help us as financial educators to tailor our classes and our workshops and webinars to make sure that we're hitting on the areas that are deficient for individuals in terms of learning finances.
That is awesome. I think when I first heard this rolling out, I was like, okay. And I see on the screen there's a QR code that you can take the quiz. And then, what I think the best thing is, and it works well with your classes that you're doing on Wednesday, is before you take the classes out there to go take the quiz. Once you take the quiz, then go through the classes and see how well you've done by taking it at the end of the classes. You'll be astounded by how much you have learned. We try to make this as easy and simple as possible. It's so sad with financial literacy. The books are humongous and they speak so far over people's heads. And that's just a terrible thing, because then that makes people run. They don't want to. I just went to someone here in our office and said, we have the financial literacy quiz and I'd like to share it with the office suites. And so he said, sure, put it up there near the break room and all of that. And I said, well, will you take the test, the quiz too? And he's like, I don't like quizzes. I said, I didn't ask you if you liked it. I'm just asking, would you take it? Nobody's going to know what happened. It's just the fact that we need this data to know where we're at. So before we go forward on anything, I want you to tell people, because you're a professor. So what is it that intrigued you so much about financial education? Because that's not taught in the schools.
No, it is not. And that's why Wealth Wave is so passionate about that, because it almost gets you angry, as well as civics. These things that we need to be productive members of society, right? And because I teach human services, and a lot of people don't like, and what we are going through right now with government slashing some of these programs, that's letting you know that the people who have don't care about the people who don't. And they would be without, right? And that's been my life mission, in terms of just helping people to better themselves. So now it just behooves me, because now in my age, and I have 2 teenage boys, and looking at, well, what do we want to do? I hate to say that maybe I don't have as many years ahead, but then, me and God bargaining for some more. Like Hezekiah, I'm going to ask for about 15 more on the plan. So when I'm well over my hundreds, but most, when we are in the middle adulthood, life starts to hit you like, wow, I want to take vacation. Wow, I have 2 children now getting ready to go into college. And thank God that I work for a university where they could go half or free, but the reality is you want to be a productive member, right? And not to mention you, my mentor, like you said, so many years ago that I met, I got my little round to it, getting round to the button. I should have a many of them wood chips that says you're getting round to it, right? Because listen, you like things. Many people want to go places. I'm happy to say, we were laughing, talking about the difference between leasing a car versus, paying outright and financing it. And I have my car for so many years, but that's the joke. But yeah, you want to be able to have things and keep up, to go places, and not to worry, because especially unfortunately, when you don't have and you're begging, you're going to get what you get and whatever they think you should get. And
That's
we
right.
already know from the history, they don't think that we should get much, and you're not going to get much. And we have been, and I'm just, I was like, wow, looking at my children, I think they were the motivating factor, because I want to be able to leave a legacy, right? It's about giving to them so they can
Yes.
live better than I lived, right? And because I've learned that time is a factor, I'm putting all my energy into them because they have more time than I do. And it doesn't matter where you are in the course, even if if you don't have, you could start now.
It's
I'll
so
believe
true.
in that. Right.
Oh, it's interesting. Monique just said here, financial literacy is now a required course in PA to graduate as of this school year. It is so on time for me. I will be able, oh, wait a minute.
Able to have an informed discussion with her students.
Yes, and that's the other thing is now the important stuff, Monique, is to make sure that they're really teaching financial literacy. I have seen a lot of courses which drive me crazy. They're teaching the kids how to basically write a check, what to do with a bank account. And I'm like, that's cute. Nobody writes a check these days. We need to learn things like the rule of 72, how our money doubles. We need to know the differences in the types of investments out there. So you stay on them, because it is important. And again, we have the books, and if we can impart it upon a school, we will do it. We have a program called Teach It Forward. Teach It Forward. And so that's to be able to, it's a curriculum to do just that. Teach it forward, and to really build young people's knowledge. The key is something just as simple as being able to teach that you put a little bit money away. Okay, they have an approved curriculum, and Dr. Swanson will be speaking to them. Yay, approved today. That's it. Thank you. Kudos. Because that's the important part, is to make sure that they understand, we're in the I want it now. I want it now. And so unfortunately in our communities, we get involved in all these programs that I want now. And now doesn't work. I tell folks it's just like Aesop's fable. The tortoise and the hare. Okay, the hare was running, going, but the hare lost. The tortoise won. Slow and steady wins the race. But definitely, I'm glad that you have your programs. There's a few programs out here. There's one of the co-authors of How Money Works for Women, Take Control or Lose It, Sharon Lecter. She made sure that during the Bush administration, yeah, Bush W, during his administration, that they stopped going to the high schools and getting kids to get credit cards. So as soon as they turn 18, give them a credit card. Okay, we have something. I'm very excited. This is Stacy Robbins, and she's excited to learn about this financial education initiative. The classes will fill a void that is very much needed, not only for school age students, but for adults. That's true for adults. People say, well, where did you learn about money? And that's one of our classes. We talk about, where'd you really learn about money? And most people didn't learn about money, or they heard things like from their parents, we can't afford it. Money doesn't grow on trees. You know, you can't have this. you know, so we have sometimes a negative connotation about how money works. So we're on this mission to make that difference. And there are people, we're looking for folks who want to join us on the crusade. It's so important. But I tell everyone, please take the how money, well, it's not how money, it's the Financial Literacy Index quiz. And this QR code that's on the screen leads to my site, which is the financialliteracyindex.com/Jana. That's Jana with a J, JANAB. But we have crusaders all over the country launching this week and getting people to take the Financial Literacy Index quiz. Don't be shy. Make it fun. We were and still are the How Money Works company, and we had cards that had 5 questions on it, and people were like, "Ooh, I don't want to take a test." I don't, nobody's grading you. It's just knowing and helping us to expand and get people to be interested in learning how money works. So that being said, there's something special happening this weekend. And I know for those of you who are listening to WHC, we'll have one of the co-founders also on next week, just to talk about how the program worked and what they're doing in the company blacklining.com. We know about redlining, but there's blacklining. And so in that, Cynthia, on Saturday, there's going to be a financial literacy summit.
Legacy summit. Yeah.
Legacy, that's what the L is, right? I'm sorry, financial legacy. And that's important. Legacy Summit. So can you tell us something a little bit about the organization and this event?
Okay, yes. So proud to know the founder. She also works as an adjunct at the same university that I am in, and met her. Seemed like we were both cool people, and we sat down and talking. And she told me that she is a licensed real estate broker. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I definitely had some questions about the house, being a homeowner myself. We started talking, and she was sharing about her foundation, the Blacklining Foundation. Of course, because I'm in human services and everything about social justice, it piqued my interest. So Dr. Sharon Gonzalez is the founder. And yes, she has a PhD in education with adult education, over 20 years teaching. And I said she's a real estate broker. She has a license. And the co-founder, Miss Kadisha Walters, she is also in finance of about 10 years with her finance degree. She's the treasurer of this Black Lining Foundation, which their mission is to reverse the negative effects of addressing, of what redlining had did. And they're addressing racial inequalities, racial injustice, racial inequities that were inherent by blatantly discriminating against, I want to say, communities with people of color. They
Gotta
marginalize.
tell the truth. Let's tell the truth.
And because they,
you got to tell the truth of what's going on.
Listen, although they want to silence us and to remove certain words of diversity, equity, inclusion, which is crazy, but this is why we have people of color in a financial rut. Not because they're lazy, and then if you don't give them the knowledge and education, they're just going to think, that's why 60 years of welfare reform, and then they did welfare reform in 1996, because it was what? The Personal Responsibility Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 96, when Clinton was there. And that's saying then, and then I'm trying to educate at that time, like, wake up, you deserve more than this little bit of federal government handouts that they're giving you. And then I come way down and meet a lady who's like, oh, this is her passion to reverse, because all of that was what happened with redlining, with the banks, when they actually, with their pen did the green areas where the white people live. This was economic. And so the economics and the resources went to those communities that didn't look like us. So this, her program, which, like I said, I love the mission, and there's the 3 pillars because of the non-financial resources. She's dealing with health, wealth, and legacy. So this weekend's event, which is happening on Saturday, April 5th, at the Salvation Army at the Manhattan Citadel, and that's at 2306 3rd Avenue, Harlem. Right there, 125th and 3rd, right? And it's a free event. And I think it's going to be the 2nd annual Legacy Summit, right? And it's where we have a wealth of people and speakers. And she's serious about making sure that we're educated and we're homeowners. Those are the big pieces, because that is part of wealth, having an asset. Home is an asset, right? And I love the way our program with Wealth Wave and some of our partners, even in other states, they teach about how you can leverage your money with your mortgage, and how it is a good debt to have and take out and then use.
Oh, did we lose your voice?
Yeah, I got muted somehow.
Okay.
So excellent.
I hear you. Yes.
Okay, good. So we have an excellent lineup with black lining. Again, reversing everything that red lining has done, because now our communities are, impoverished. You have a lot of, when we look at the social determinants of health, brown and black people have, health disparities that is really negative. We have a high rate of hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, stress, strokes coming from the stress that we have because we are economically unstable. We're not stable. We don't have enough money just to cover, we're living paycheck to paycheck. So the lineup is great, okay, for this weekend. And I love the concept of what they're doing, which is, like you said, the legacy, to bring it forward. So can I run down the
I would
event?
love for you to run down, because you know how excited I am about this event. Anything that's going to help our community. Go ahead.
I like to think of myself as a networker. I bring people together when I hear some good ideas, and I know I have I'm always thinking, right? And I'm saying, oh, wait a minute, I know somebody, and she knows somebody. And so we're really excited for what's going to happen. Because we really want, again, to bring financial literacy and then to share the wealth. So on day one, it's only one day, but on the first half, starting at 12. So there are going to be speakers, there are going to be workshops, there's going to be a big room. We're going to have exhibitioners where everybody's there and they're willing to share how they became that entrepreneur. So speakers such as Nidhi Parikh, Please, if I butchered your name, forgive me. But that is a speaker on at the first session at 12 o'clock, Innovating for Impact Lessons from founding director of Cornell Tech's Maker Lab. Then another speaker will be Delvin Morales, Money Moves, Insider Tips from a Financial Advisor to Build Wealth and Thrive. Then we have a workshop. Oh my God, this workshop is going to be phenomenal. Person who I love, who's my mentor, are going to teach about finance, personal finance, how money works. Jana Woodhouse, you may know her. Then we're going to have a fry side chat with DJ Mastermind 718 in Kashim Lockhart. Beats and Briefs, Navigating the Business of Music Like a Pro. And then we'll have an afternoon session with more speakers. We're going to have Anthony Williams. He's also a certified financial planner, and he's going to do a blueprint to wealth, insights from a certified financial planner on building a financial successful business in finance. Another speaker, Jerlissa Fontaine, Building Connections, Creating Opportunities, the Entrepreneurial Journey. Workshop. This is another workshop where it's going to be hands-on. Dish and Dollars, a recipe for entrepreneurial success with Lexis Gonzalez. She is a board member with Redlining, and she's a co-owner and chef of Lady Lexis Kitchen and Lady Lexis Sweets. So we have a great board member too with Tamika Cole and Naomi Fell. So this organization is tight. I don't know if it was designed like that to have strong women leading this. So Naomi is also licensed real estate broker, and Tamika Cole as a brand consultant, and she has her own e-commerce business, and she's a phlebotomist. So these ladies, the board and the founding members are serious, especially about this legacy. And then we have another speaker in the afternoon session, Tara Dowdell, Mastering PR and Marketing, Strategies for Building. So we have so many different speakers. We have workshops. We're going to have Soul City TV. Thank you. That is why you can view us now, because of that masterful Matt McCoy, who owns this TV network, who also looks like us in terms of color. So you're going to have so many. We have a lady who's going to be there regarding the Black-owned vineyards. So they have, we're going to have samples of wine and beer, different people who have made it. And they're going to have tables there. And they're going to be willing to share with whoever wants to visit their table and say, how did you make it? And sit there one-on-one and to really give you a blueprint of how to be successful. And so most people don't start, but not to finish. And then you can sit there and leave your information, because we want to keep networks. We want to make internships happen for people, and just even mentors. People are willing to be a mentor. Like you have mentored me. That's how I got in here, because you was doing the slow drip with me, letting me know. And then it's like, I look around like, oh my God, my mother's been telling me this truth. These babies are not going to be babies. And when I show her pictures of them, she'll be like, who are they? It goes by so fast.
So fast.
It's for, doesn't wait for anyone. And it's important.
It's so important to do something with these young folks, because we build businesses and you have to have it where it gets passed on. The reason why I had a tax business and still have at the age of 19, Mr. Henderson, bless his soul, I bought the business from him. I was 19 years old, but I had mentored under him. He was a mentee. I menteed under him from age 17 to 19. And, the thing is, you never know who's going to really want to do something. I believe that we're kind of born with the entrepreneur gene. It's somewhere in there. And, because everybody doesn't want, some people just tell me what I got to do. I work from 9 to 5. At 5 o'clock, I'm on my way out, But there are people who are like, no, and I'm working till this gets finished. And then I got something else to do. It's a different thought. And that's what it really was inspired by the Black Lining organization, because It's talking about creating entrepreneurs. You know, I was honored with in Tulsa, the Black Wall Street, for their 100th anniversary. But I've stood those streets, and as I walked, 600 businesses that were thriving before they got bombed. And so, you know, 600 businesses where a dollar was able to stay in the community for 3 to 5 years. Our dollar lasts 2 minutes. It used to be 20 minutes. Now it's like 2 minutes, you know. So I'm glad and I'm hoping that people will come out. It's from 11 to 4, and I really hope they come out and look. How can you get it? What's your excuse? It's free.
Mhm.
And some people say, like you said, some people say nothing's free. You know what really is free? It's not free. You know why it's not free? Because you have an obligation once you go to share the information, link with those business owners, link with the people who are doing branding. You know, how many of us set up businesses and we spend not even 10% of our business on marketing? You're supposed to spend almost 70% in marketing, but you only spent less than 1% sometimes in marketing. And that's why you sort of fail, because nobody knows you exist. If they don't know you're here. You know, I had one client that I sat with, and she does cupcakes and event planning. And I said, how much did you give away free? And she's like, I can't give away nothing free. I was like, how they gonna know it's good or not? You have to be part of your budget, has to be let them test the reins there and do so. This is so exciting, and I commend the board and administration. And you know, anything, I'm going public with it, anything I can do to assist, I'm there. So I'm very excited with some of my teammates coming to be there, like yourself. I know you got 2 or 3 heads going on at the
You have.
event.
And
But it's
I'm bringing my young men with me.
I love it. And it's something to watch them, because I know on your phone you have a picture. I think it's either your phone or your Gmail. And it's got those little tiny folks. And I'm like, who these little tiny folks? It's been a long time, because I saw them when they were little tiny. They ain't nothing tiny about them now. But you are, and I applaud the passion you have. Because no matter what I talk about in financial literacy, you say, yeah, but what about the young folks? What we doing for the young folks? And I believe one of our, I'm trying to make her associate with us, is Iridita Anderson. She has the book, The 12 Envelopes. And I'm hoping that she can. I know she has some family members that are ill, and that's one of the things that we have to prepare for. Is that, you know, most of us either have or will be in the sandwich generation. They gave a name to it. That
Yes.
means you're taking care of the elders and you're taking care of the kids, and you stuck in the middle. You know, so it becomes one of those things that we have to prep for. We don't want to. And definitely in our community, we do not put our elders in nursing homes and put them away. You know, they've got to stay home, you know, until we can't do anymore. That's what happens. So, you know, this is exciting. I hope you all come out. I think there's a QR code for it. If not, go to Black Lining. I believe that's it, blacklining.com. Is that the name of the,
Yes.
yeah,
They can
go
do Black
to
Lining Foundation.
Foundation. There you go.
So you can go right to the website, www.blackliningfoundation.com.
Awesome. And then they can register. It's
Yes.
better to register. Of course, I'm going to give a plug. Come register and come to my workshop. But come on, let's see. Perfect information for the layperson. It will make sense to everyone. I'm learning how little I know about the games, quote, they play with the money allocated that's not being distributed. Learning. It's important to learn. Yes, Gigi. learn, and come on out and meet. Come on, talk to us. You know, please repeat the time for Saturday's evening. Oh, it's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on
Yes.
Saturday. And Cynthia, the address?
It's at the Salvation Army in Manhattan, at the Manhattan Citadel. It's 2306 3rd Avenue, New York, New York, 10035, right on the corner of 3rd and the famous 125th Street, Harlem.
That's awesome.
Right in the heart of Harlem.
Fantastic. You know, that 125th Street, there's a story. Matt and I have an organization called Hottest Poets, which we're going to bring back this river to river, which is word flow. Do you know there's a natural canal on 125th Street from river to river? That's energy. See, we are spiritual people. So that's energy there. So we need to bring that energy up. And one way is to deal with how money works, because guess what money is called? Currency.
That's right. It's
Currency. So we need to definitely pay attention, come out, register, go on the site, pick what you want as a workshop. If you don't want a workshop, go and talk to people. Hopefully there's someone there, because I've talked to Cynthia, and I also spoke to Khadijah Walters, and she's looking for always people who have different backgrounds. She was looking for someone who came from different areas so that people could have a possibility to mentor or be a mentee. You know, that's important. You know, back in the days, I think about it. There's an old Christmas story called Christmas Carol. And if you think about it, Bob Cratchit was an intern to, what's his name? Ebenezer Scrooge. It's been going a long time. It used to be you couldn't be a lawyer without being mentored, just like in many ways the real estate industry. You can't really be a broker till you find a broker to mentor you. You know, this is the better place. And for the young people that are listening, look, I started out back in the days when I was young. I wanted to be a lawyer. Why? Because everybody said you're smart and you need to be a lawyer. I got a chance to intern with a few law firms. I did not want to be a lawyer. I am not an arguer. I don't want to battle. I don't want to I don't want to sit in, I'm a numbers person. I don't want to sit and read. You know, I'd rather be read to me and tell me. That's why I love audiobook. Okay. You know, and so I said, wrong career. But if I hadn't gone to mentor, be mentored by these organizations, I would never have known that wasn't the path I want. And I know that most people getting ready to prepare for college, I'm going to speak to y'all. You need to find out what you want, but you're not going to find out by going to a book. You're going to find out by going to places and volunteering. And the thing is like you said with Cynthia, with the mentoring, to mentor, to be mentored, means you get a chance to find out where you really want to go, because we spend a lot of times. Look, I think I changed majors at least 4 times while I was in undergrad, because I said, that sounds good. That sounds good. That's not the sound. Go out there and experience it. It's so important. Have that experience. Enjoy it while you're young, because later on, you'll know what you want to do. I'm very passionate, as everybody knows. I'm passionate about financial literacy. I am passionate about numbers, because numbers don't lie. People do. You know? Oh, yes, I see. Monique, you said, awesome. Yes, you love to write poetry. Well, we're going to bring it back. We're bringing back Hottest Poets. Just got to get it all together. You know, we're in a time that we really are missing where the artists are. They're not being treated right. And I remember my brother Matt McCoy said it is that when they want to destroy a community, they head to the artistic people first. They take it away. They close it off. And then at that point, after that, the township starts to die. And so we don't want our townships to die. And we definitely don't want the township of Harlem to die, and keep it alive. And so we do have to do that. But also, so I just wanted to ask you before we wind up shutting down a bit, but what are you doing with your sons? I know you're exposing them to a lot.
Oh, yes.
So what's the goal? What's some of the things you want? Because I believe it's Joshua who's going to hit that college first,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
Caleb is right behind.
17, as my mother, the joke is 17 apart. It's 17 months apart, but he was every time, I guess they would get used to when they were in this double stroller and they were like thinking they were twins. I guess he would say, listen, I know what they're going to ask. Are they twins? So instead of me answering, he would answer. And instead of saying 17 months, he'd be like, we're 17 apart, 17 apart. He would keep saying that. So, yeah, he has more of the, bubbly, outgoing personality. And the younger one, he's more business finance. Listen, he always wants the money. So I told him, you're going to learn this. So what I have for them, and because, like you said, how we teach with the 7 milestones, right? To get educated, to make sure you get, protection. You need an emergency fund, debt management. Then you can start getting cash flow. Then you build your wealth, and then you protect your wealth. Those are the 7, milestones. So they're going to learn that. So, and then because we have the ebook that you did mention, How Money Works for the Next Generation, they are tasked with reading that, taking a chunk out of it. And it's not like, I love the way you did mention the book is easy read. For a financial literate book to learn about finances, like you said, the rule of 72, all of the different concepts in there, they have great pictures. I've never seen a book that is so, and Caleb, my youngest, he loved the book. He was reading it like, yeah, because it's personable. It's with the little bubbles and they, go back and forth being real about it. Like, what? The one that's talking about, I was fearful of making a budget. The things that really happens in real life, because most of us don't want to see how bad we're doing. But the book is an easy read. So they're going to be reading the book. They will be going to these classes that we mentioned that on Wednesday, because the webinars and the classes is based on the book, which is an easy read. It's really like on a 5th grade reading level, and for you to understand it at that level, right? So they'll be a part of that. They're going to be my legacy because they're going to join the team as well when they can, right? And they don't know it. I got all of that. And again, like you said, it's currency. I still teach them to wake up, spend 5 minutes, because I'm very spiritual. Know again that who they need to be in agreement with is their higher self. Some people may say, well, I know this lady. I don't know if she's a millionaire. I'm a millionaire here because it starts here. And I'm training them to think first, because you have to think and act like how you want to be. So they're learning that. I'm making sure that they have these affirmations, because believe me, currency, as I used to love Reverend Ike says, I am money. And money is the getting power of self-consciousness, that you are the flow of currency, that you have all the answers. So that's the first thing that I teach my children, and letting them know who they are in the spirit, and knowing that it's powerful, and anything that you want, you can have, and to make sure that is what you want. I want to make sure that they can dream. I think another problem with society is they gave up because they're so marginalized. People don't remember me. Money's not coming into my community, so they don't dream anymore. If you don't have a dream or a passion, where can you go? And I see myself in that too, because I was like, oh, I don't like this, Then I had to wake up because I got kids. I'm like, listen, I know that I'm covered on the other side, this side too, but I want them to make sure that they can live comfortably, not have to ask. So,
and that's the beauty, just to add to it.
Mm-hmm.
To add to that is that you build a legacy. And the worst thing that can happen, which we see all the time, where the legacy is built and then the children spend it all, eliminate it. We look at this every day. You can name the names, the Michael Jacksons, the Russell Simmons crew, all of them, not doing anything with the next generation to move forward. and then there's trouble because you got too much of the currency and it's driving you crazy.
And I think that's why I want them to be a part of this, because what you mentioned, all of those wealthy, and I don't want it to be like we're not emulating them that do that. And because like you said, they just passed it on. They have the money, they squabble it, they're drug addicts, whatever, they don't have it anymore. They're going to learn it because from their own paychecks, not mama's. Mama done set them up properly protected. They have life insurance and everything. I have insurance. God forbid something happens to me. But they need to know, because that's the way that you learn, from your own paycheck. And they see it not to somebody, because like you said, how are they going to respect something that they didn't never work for, to know what the sweat and tears what was put into your business? So their business is going to be part of learning how to separate that little bit of savings and to invest it with their first little paychecks. They're going to be doing that.
And so
they can be
awesome.
part of it.
Well, I know I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to come and talk about this event for Saturday, and also what we do every Wednesday at 7:00. And I'm hoping and praying that people hear, and they say knowledge is power. Well, I say action is queen.
Right.
So thank you so much, Cynthia Swangen, for coming on board. I look forward to and enjoy working with you. I see you've grown so much. You've had your brilliance as a professor, but now you are truly a financial educator and making differences and leaps and bounds, and I appreciate you. And so I say to the audience, thank you so much for tuning in, and keep listening. Come back, because we've got a lot to share. There's so much to do, but nothing works if you don't share with others and let them know that we're here every Thursday at 6 p.m. on Soul City Network and also on WHCR 90.3 FM. So again, have a good night. Be at peace. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you to the Soul City Network and to WHCR. Have a good night. Be blessed and keep a positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.